Guard the money.
I'm honored. I'm pleased that I would be asked by such splendid people to be part of this pleasure.
We're so honored by you. And as you know, the Hospital for Sick Kids works with people's most precious gifts, their children. And I want to talk about yours. I want to talk about John. Why don't you just tell me about him?
I have a son. His name is John. And he has a few discrepancies, maybe 6 or 8, if you want to list them on a paper. My son doesn't talk. He doesn't argue with me either. He doesn't walk very much. His IQ is minimal, you know. But, you know, the 4 parts of life, you know, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Over the last, he's the king of the walk. And I like being with people like that. They lift me up. I stop worrying about minutia.
Would you tell me about how you reach out to John in all the many ways that you do?
Touch. For my son, it's touch. Now, I learned sign language because he's deaf. But he picked it up and then he dropped it. So even though I can sign, you know, some, I'm good enough, good enough, good enough. So much for me comes through touch with him. I still wait for his messages. I mean, how big can the world be through one human being? Oh my God, listen, listen. And if no sound is coming forth, that's a sound. And watch, just watch. And when you look into his eyes, there's heaven on earth. Probably. Because of my son, I feel able to love everybody. He's perfect in my eyes. Therefore, I see the perfection in others.
We spoke with a few Catwomen in the convention.
You did?
We did.
Well, I think she's a really strong character, and I think she's interesting because she's very independent, is kind of taken from a Cats thing. Cats are independent.
You witch.
Batman. With all your many attributes, you haven't learned the first thing about good manners. Curb your tongue, Batman. I cannot tolerate a man with no breeding. All right, Cats.
I like it that you think that Catwoman is strong. I get that, and it pleases me to hear that from girls.
You know, what message does Catwoman, the persona Catwoman, have for young girls today?
Oh, play, have a good time. Allow yourself to grow as much naturally as you can. You know, everyone is telling you to do this, do that, but have your own wonderment. That's what I would tell to much older people.
It's exciting to meet the real Catwoman.
It is amazing. It is awesome. It is excellent. You look amazing, Bob.
You are spectacular.
Say, why'd you get me involved in this anyway, Catwoman? Well, Batman has his protege, and you're mine.
I hope you're enjoying yourself.
I am enjoying myself.
Yeah.
What did you learn from Catwoman?
We're too serious. Always play comedy. It's much more fun. Harder. Because you have to get the whole circle. See, Catwoman was not just the good girl, she was also a little... got in trouble. Got in considerable trouble.
Triple brat!
Fellas, there's Chief O'Hara, look out.
You're coming out with this intriguing book, The Conscious Catwoman.
Explains life on Earth. Do you want to raise your eyebrow on that one?
Yes.
Well, I want it to be a little bit, fun. It's a how-to book, how to juice up your life, it's lessons I've assimilated, I believe, that have helped me. And writing is a wonderful way to answer the questions that no one else can answer on your behalf.
I want you to comment on Julie Newmar Writes and how you're collecting comments from your readers.
Thank you for asking about Julie Newmar Writes. That's my website, julienewmar.com. One of the books that I'm writing, it is called First Fantasy.
Pay attention.
And first fantasy came out of my playing Catwoman and men walking up to me on the street and saying, "Oh, Miss Newmar, did you know that you were my first turn-on?"
Wow, my, is that so?
Why don't we get together and share a saucer of milk sometime?
Don't be ridiculous. It would ravage my reputation if I was seen with you.
She was one of the first female characters in Batman.
And she's Catwoman today.
Well, out of that has come a very interesting concept for a book. Don't you dare steal it. To please send me a story of who was the first person that lit your fire, that made you think, oh, the opposite sex or not, it's going to be okay.
We're here live from Gotham at Fan Expo. So, who was your favorite superhero growing up?
Oh, I love Catwoman. This is what I'm dressed up as today.
Absolutely. Yeah. What do you think the role model she makes for young girls?
I think it's being powerful and sticking up for yourself.
Exactly.
I have received some of the most heartwarming, heartwarming, wonderful stories. And if you have one, if you want to write, just get just one page. Send it to Julie Newmar Writes, and I will make you famous. Put you in my book.
It's curtains for Robin.
I read that at one time, those dancer legs of yours were insured at pre-inflationary rates of $1 million.
All my systems are go!
Of course, they're worthless now.
I was going to say, now those legs cause you pain.
No.
No?
I'm not a friend of pain. I don't have it in my vocabulary. What I do is rise above it. Now that can't be done in physical terms, of course, but your mind is a magnificent way to control, although I'm not keen about the word control, but it elevates you, how you work with your mind. Also breathing. You breathe yourself into freedom. Fill every one of your cells with the glorious sense of well-being.
What rotten luck!
You have to be aware of your thoughts and get in there and go, I'm going to have a different thought. I'm going to have a thought that lifts me. And get out of your body. Think about anything that gives you wonderful pleasure. If it's food, a place on the beach, the flowers. I probably have one of the most beautiful gardens per square foot in, Western United States. To go outside and to breathe and to see flowers growing, things turn up with smiles on their faces. I have a rose named after me, so
that's wonderful.
It is. One bunch perfumes the entire room.
And so
you know how to throw your voice down the hallway? So it hits that. When your husband or your kid is in the other room, you got to hit it against the wall like this. It's like a ball. Like a ball, and then it goes that way. And if the kid is over there, you can't get your clothes on. Bob.
Get them.